Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Kansas City.
Royals baseball from Kauffman Stadium. Tonight the Royals have a chance to sweep the Rays and finish the homestand with a perfect 6-0 record. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. It was not the very merry month of May, the early part of the month, but then the Royals, as we were waiting for that entire month, were able to flip the switch. And then it was a very merry month of May.
It was, Rhino. It didn't start out that way, but nice to see these guys get their form, get into shape, and that's what it takes after spring training. A month and a half, nice to see these guys get it going. Now, it wasn't pretty early, but it got better. There it is. Last 15, that'll work. Look at the runs per game, team ERA, everything's down, like what we see.
So how did the Royals go from ice cold to red hot?
Being through those experiences and knowing how to handle them and what to do kind of helps us get out of them quicker. It's very easy to kind of stay in a rut and, next thing you know, the season's over. So, those experiences definitely help us get out of it.
Better believe it does. These guys have been to the top of the mountain 2 years in a row. Butera last year had a big part of that. They grow so much over a short period of time in this game. It's amazing, especially when you go that deep in the postseason.
And when a team is hot, that means some players are usually hot. Ned Yost talks about how the team gets cold at the same time and they get hot at the same time. Let's talk about 4 hitters in particular when we come back. Tough team to pitch to right now because there are several hitters scattered throughout the lineup who are on hot streaks.
You're exactly right. Not a good time to toe the slab against the world champs. Look at the streaks. 14, 9, 8, 8 games, all of them. Now, how about the young Merrifield? He deserves a lot of credit. Record-setting pace he's on, hitting all them games. But I love to see the production. 1 through 9, top of the order. You never know who's going to drive that Royals bus, especially now, as lava hot as these guys are. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Those are our Toyota League leaders for the day today. Boy, the Royals have given the Rays a bad time, and especially here at Kauffman Stadium. We'll discuss that when we come back. Baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. 800,000 people were gathered in that area after the Royals won the World Series. How bad has it been for the Rays at Kauffman Stadium the last 5 years, Hud? Let's take a look at our Kubota power stats.
Ooh, man, there's a term used in the game when you dominate called step on their neck, and they've been stepping on them with regularity. 14-1 since 2012. Look at the run differential, the batting average, everything. That's a beautiful thing. In this sport, you're paid for wins, and that's exactly what they're doing against the Rays. You gotta love it.
Royals hope to continue that tonight. They go for a 6-0 homestand as Danny Duffy takes the ball against the Rays. A chance at a sweep. It's the first homestand in 21 years where the Royals have a chance of going perfect with at least 6 or more games. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. And in the year of the Royals' first World Championship, the Royals did it twice. They had an 8-0 homestand. They had a 6-0 homestand. And then in 1988, the Royals went 7-0. They are 5-0 so far against the White Sox and the Rays. Going for the sweep. The first pitch is coming up next. Royals were 17-11 in May, and in the last 3 weeks they picked up 8.5 games in the standings. There's also an impressive weather streak in Kansas City with another beautiful night tonight, 81 degrees, as Danny Duffy will be making his 4th start. The numbers that jump out when looking at Danny this year as a starter would be the number of pitches per 9 innings and the walks per 9 innings. The pitches are down, the walks are down. He is throwing fewer than 15 pitches per inning this year, and look at that, 1.42 walks per 9 innings.
It's been impressive how he's matured so quickly, Ryan. The thing that was impressive about his last start, there was a 61 of 76 pitches for strikes. That was a special day for him. Now hopefully he can find that kind of command tonight.
Hey, Lance Barrett, home plate umpire, gets bonus points. He is waiting for the clock to go to 7:15. There are only 2 left-hand batters against Danny Duffy. That would be Brad Miller batting 2nd, Logan Morrison batting 5th, and you can understand why. Duffy is so tough on left-hand hitters, so difficult that Robin Ventura in Danny's last start didn't have 1 left-hand hitter in the lineup. It is 7:15, and Duffy's first pitch is outside to Brandon Guyer.
Strike 1 is going to be his biggest pitch. Again, we mentioned how he filled that strike zone in his last outing. It was impressive. Fastball, changeup, slurvy curveball.
2 balls and no strikes on Guyer, who entered the series hitting just under 300 And in this Royals Rays series so far, he is 0 for 10. Got it in on his knuckles. And it's Merrifield coming way down the line at third. So that brings back memories of Salvador Perez and Chesler Cuthbert, but great communication on that play.
Merrifield jumped all over that call. You could hear him all the way up here. I like it. Butera, 4th consecutive start. I like that. But where's Whitley? He's at third base. Glad to have him in there. You know, when he's going to be in there awful lot because Ned likes his ability to hit in that second slot in his lineup. Can't find a guy like that.
And now Brad Miller, who was a home run shy of hitting for the cycle last night. Going to have a tough time if he chases that pitch. 3 for 5 in the series with a double, a triple, and a run scored. Brad Miller. Danny Duffy's at a point now where you really don't pay much attention to his pitch count. He is pretty well stretched out, and he is going to continue to pitch out of the stretch. He was saying the other day that he realized in spring training when he came in some Cactus League games in the middle of an inning and had to pitch out of the stretch that he was no less effective. He was competing at the beginning of spring training for a spot in the starting rotation, and yet his first couple of outings were in the middle of an inning, and he just realized, you know, this is comfortable, it's working. So now as a full-time starter, he's going to pitch out of the stretch.
Yep, and I agree with all that. There's only one thing that you can be concerned about with his pitch count is what Miller's doing right now. Hard, high fastballs get fouled off, and that's the only thing. If he gets these hitters in competitive situations there, and he's using that fastball, they can't square it up. It's very hard, so they're going to foul him off. Miller 2 for 7 in his career off Duffy.
Slider got him looking, and something that Danny can do when he's pitching exclusively out of the stretch, and you really notice it, Hud, when there's nobody on base, he will still use the slide step.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. That's why you would think if anybody does get on base tonight that it won't be a real major adjustment in any of his release point or his mechanics or anything. So that's what guys want now. They want to simplify mechanics, and you're doing that when you're staying in one position the whole time.
2 down to Evan Longoria.
Tampa Bay, they've had a lot of success against lefties this year. They're hitting .268 as a team, 21 homers. That's 3rd in average and 2nd in homers in the league. So they have a bunch of right-handed hitters. That's why they're a little bit more dominant against lefties.
Two balls and no strikes.
Their record against left-handed starters is 7-7.
Hit hard into the left field corner and foul. Longoria had 3 hits last night. 2 of those hits were doubles.
1 for 4 in his career against Duffy. Good hitter all around.
Longoria taps his chest to tell Duffy, that was me asking for time. Sorry about that.
Hope you don't drill me.
Changeup is low. 3-1 on Longoria. The Rays had a losing month of May, and they scored almost 5 runs per game. So like the Royals, scoring wasn't an issue, but their team ERA was about 4.8. They were 11-16 in May. Pretty good pitch on 3-1. Longoria will pop out to Infante. Good start for Danny Duffy. The Rays go down in order in the top of the first. 81 degrees and sunshine in Kansas City for the first pitch tonight. And here come the Royals against right-hander Chris Archer. The Royals have now averaged 7.3 runs per game over their last 8. And tonight they go up against 27-year-old right-hander Chris Archer, who has had an awful time on the road with a 7.36 ERA. That's the highest ERA in the major leagues with at least 5 starts. So he carries that into the game against a team that's white hot on offense.
Yeah, and look at him at home. Hard to figure. His home ERA 2.03. And if he knows those numbers, but if he could figure it out, he would. He's just been getting the ball up. His fastball's been raked. Fastball, slider, changeup. And he's been up there all year. And for some reason, he's not able to line his shoulders up with the catcher and drive downhill. He's a tremendous athlete. He's got a lot of good things and a lot of good qualities going. Quick feet, good pickoff move. Just needs to get down in the zone with that fastball.
Escobar got himself out in that at bat. I don't think he swung at 1 strike.
He didn't. And that's another issue. Walks. Walks have been a problem for him. He's 4th in the American League with 29 walks. Lay off of that stuff. Okay. Defensively, the Rays, Brad Miller's had a tough time out there. He made an error in Monday's game, and they haven't exactly been the best defense. My new favorite opposing team's player, Taylor Motter, is at second base. He's fresh.
You were nice enough to introduce me today.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce my partner. Ran into him in the hallway.
Merrifield hits it well to right field. Souza was shallow, and it's over his head. Merrifield to second, and he'll hold with a 1-out double. So make it a base hit in all 11 career starts, adding to his Royals record. And now he'll try and add to scoring a run. He's done that in his last 8 games.
And you see where that fastball was? Archer saying, really? Come on, this kid's not that good. That's a good pitch on the outside part of the plate and down, and he went with it. Souza showing him no love and no respect, playing him shallow like that. And Merrifield made him pay. I like it. He's thinking 3, but he knows better. He shut it down and watches the ball get by. And he's a baseball player, Ryan, and that's one of the best compliments you can give a player. He's just down and dirty. He's a player. Like a Dustin Pedroia type of player. With a little more speed.
And the way he carries himself, if you had been out of the country the last 5 years and came back and you were watching the Royals during this homestand, you'd think Whit Merrifield's in his 4th or 5th year in the big leagues. No balls and 2 strikes on Lorenzo Cain. Several Royals have had big homestands. Lorenzo Cain has driven in 8 against the White Sox and the Rays, 5 in this Tampa Bay series.
See Motter, the second baseman, concerned that Merrifield will try to rip the bag off, giving Cain some ground to the opposite field.
Fastball, base hit right field. Mike Jerschele is going to wave him home. Souza's throw is late, and Cain goes into second base. So Whit Merrifield has a base hit in all 11 starts, and now he's scored a run in 9 straight games as Lorenzo Cain drives in his 9th of this homestand.
Yeah, and 34th stake overall. How about that? They gave him a little bit of ground on that right side. Lorenzo Cain says, I can take the 4-seam fastball. Look at that great shot out of the camera there, and he just rifles it in that open hole. Souza, good throwing arm. Love how the third base coach Jerschele said, I believe in you, kid. You can score.
So from a hot hitter to a very hot hitter, especially on this homestand, and Eric Hosmer swings over a changeup.
He's been a little bit more confident with his changeup, Archer, than his slider. Last year it was his slider that was the electric pitch, but this year he's not able to command the slider very well either, along with his fastball. Look at that homestand. Incredible.
That pitch was down and out of the strike zone, so Archer hits Hosmer to ground out to second base. Kane goes to third with 2 down. Our Honda most trusted player is our Honda most trusted players tonight. Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain in May. Both had 25 or more RBIs. And the first Royals to do that since 1999, and that was Jermaine Dye and Mike Sweeney.
That's just how Abner Doubleday wrote it up. Ooh, Lorenzo Cain, he thought about coming. That ball, he might have been able to make it home on that wild pitch.
But that's the toughest to read when you're a third, because it's right in line with the baseline. You can't judge the depth.
Exactly. You're not sure. And you know what? When you have Morales up there, this guy's Silver Slugger Award last year, the best DH. You're not, when in doubt, just stay put. But anyway, back to Abner Doubleday. Your 3 and 4 hitters are your most productive hitters that drive in the runs. Hosmer and Cain.
Hit well to left and drops in front of Mata, who was playing in Liberty. And Kendry Morales drops one in to give the Royals a 2-0 lead.
Man, when that ball was hit, I'm saying, oh no, he's gonna. And then I looked at where he was positioned, and he was way too deep. So Souza in right was too shallow on Merrifield. And on this pitch, which was a nice piece of hitting there, as he went with the pitch, this is what they want to see more of Morales. I'm thinking that's got to be caught.
I was thinking the same thing. Oh man, another line out to the outfield for Morales.
Maybe his luck is starting to change. There you go, Camo.
Paulo Orlando grounds it out to Motter, and that's the inning. The Royals come up with 2 runs on 3 hits against Chris Archer. Cain and Morales pick up the RBIs. And it's been the homestand of the 1-out rally, and with 1 out in the first inning, Whit Merrifield doubles. The Royals get 2, and in 17 games this year, when the Royals have led entering the second inning, they've won 15. Steven Souza Jr. will lead off against Danny Duffy. Duffy had a 13-pitch first inning. Souza has 4 hits in the first 2 games. He's driven in a run. He has scored a run. Logan Morrison and Desmond Jennings will follow. On the ground to Merrifield. Was it off of his foot? No.
He's out. You've got to go.
That's a whole plate umpire, Lance Barrett. And Souza, boy, he didn't even get out of the box. He was convinced. And the Royals just played it through. The umpires are kind of looking at one another, and nobody had their hands in the air. They said out. Boy, I don't know. I saw a lot of dirt come up right there.
Well, let's see. This might be a little better angle here. Nope, misses foot.
Yeah.
Look like it. Of course, look like it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
And now, lots of times, you're going to know for sure as a hitter that that ball hit you. But there are other times where you think quick enough to where you're thinking, maybe I can. That's going to be an out. I know it. Maybe I can trick him. Get me another swing. No, ain't going to work. Fish ain't biting. Rats.
All right. Well, there's a lot of dirt kicking up. I mean, so if it hit his foot, I mean, it just barely hit his foot. Let's just say this. If it was reviewable, it was not clear and convincing that it hit his foot.
No. When you have a meeting with all the umpires and they unanimously say no, you're done.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of managers before replay would either compliment or criticize an umpiring crew. Is if they all got together and would talk about it, even if the call wasn't right, that they would appreciate it, that one umpire would ask the other 3. Morrison right over Duffy's head, but Escobar's guarding the middle, and there are 2 down. So that was a little old school conference there. All the umpires got together. Nobody saw him hit his foot, saw the ball hit his foot. So the call stays the same.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, that was very close to Duffy. Escobar had him played just right. Look at that hustle by Morrison. Ooh. Duffy, good athlete, fields his position well, and he's able to get out of the way of that one.
And now pitching to a struggling hitter, Desmond Jennings. Hitting 168 in his first 119 at bats. Jennings started game 1. He was not in the lineup last night. Duffy misses inside, 2-0.
Having been in Jennings' shoes many, many times, I can tell you, you have to have the confidence that you're going to come out of this. You're going to go to the ballpark early. You're going to hit. You're going to hit until your hands bleed. You're going to find something. Because you know you're better than that. He'll take that one.
So Duffy retires the first 5. And now Jennings is on with 2 outs. And that brings up Taylor Motter, who Hud said is his favorite opposing player in the American League.
My new favorite.
Oh, new.
Player.
Okay.
Yeah. All the Royals, for the record, love them all. They're all my favorite. Now, there's only a few guys on the other teams, a few that I really like. Ooh.
Merrifield makes the play and gets the force at second base.
Quick hands.
He does it all. He has doubled, he has scored, and now he's made a nice defensive play. All of that in the first 2 innings.
I believe he could sell popcorn if Ned had let him. Wow. Incredible. Nice hands.
Morales drove in runs in the Royals' 2-run first inning, and now it's Omar Infante, Gerard Dyson, and Drew Butera in the second. Chop foul by Infante, who's lost quite a bit of playing time over the past few weeks. First to Christian Colon at second base, and now Whit Merrifield. And Infante has only had 4 plate appearances this entire homestand. Good swing at a fastball there. That running up there at 97 from Archer, and it's 0-2.
Rod Allen is the color commentator for the Detroit Tigers. When Dayton Moore acquired Infante a couple years ago, calls me on the phone. He says, "You got a guy who never misses fastballs. This guy is a dead red fastball hitter. You throw him a fastball in a certain situation, he'll hurt you." And for the most part, we've seen him do some damage on a lot of fastballs. And now his 3rd season.
Just over Matter's head. That time it looked like it was a cutter. I think Archer wanted him to pull that ball. Infante goes up the middle, and the Royals have the leadoff man on.
Okay, little slider, but it stayed up. And Infante is able to handle the mistake. Got 2 strikes on the hitter. No wonder Archer's struggling this year. He's just not executing his pitches at the right time. Can't give up 0-2 base hits, especially when you're down 2-0 to the world champs, who are lava hot.
And here's Gerard Dyson, who's hot. Thinking about a bunt, he takes inside. Dyson has a 9-game hitting streak. Archer has by far the most trouble first time through the order, and then he makes a big improvement second time through. He's had a lot of trouble in the first inning. His ERA is almost 10 in the first inning, and the Royals scored 2 in the first inning tonight. Dyson bunting. Longoria was charging, so that's a very short throw for him. Dyson gets Infante to second base, and there's 1 out.
You know how good Longoria is. 2-time Gold Glove winner. He catches that on the dead run and thought about making the throw to second base on the dead run. That's how good he is. He says, nah, we need to get the out. Watch him. He thought about it, and he said, let's get the out. He's got really good skills.
You might have saved Tyler Matter's hair earlier today. I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not, but he told us he was heading into the little barber area and he was going to cut it all off.
I told him, don't go in that room. What's wrong with you? And because he was heading to the barber room where all the guys get their hair cut. Since 2012 he's been growing it, and I did mention to him, if you do get a haircut, donate those to the organization that makes wigs out of them for kids that need hair.
Right.
He said he'd think about that, but he's not ready to cut it yet.
Strike to Drew Butera. You know, if Brock Holt hears about this, he's going to break up with you.
You know, Brock Holt cut his hair this year. You notice that?
Did he?
Yeah. Last year he had the hair down to his shoulders, and this year he went to crew cut, summer cut.
Drew Butera is 4 for 5 in this series and has a couple of walks. So he's come to the plate 7 times and he's reached 6 of those times. In the entire homestand, he's hitting .556. Making the most of this 1 week to 10-day opportunity with Salvador Perez out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Salvi, by the way, is going to join us in an inning. Going to put a headset on and talk to us when the Royals bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still 2-2.
Butera telling himself every day when he comes to the ballpark, I'm the man. I am in there. I know I'm playing. I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to take my at-bats like this could be my last, and I'm going to really focus. And he's gotten hot. He's hitting .321 stepping in here.
And off of Miller's glove, and that probably gets the Royals a run. That ball gets by Miller. Mike Jerschele may or may not hold Omar Infante, but with the deflection, Matuk coming up in left field had no play. The Royals lead 3-0. And Drew Butera on this homestand is 6 out of 10.
And that's it. Breaking pitches, you can't throw to Butera now. I would rather challenge him with fastballs because the last several hits he's gotten have all been on off-speed pitches. He's hitting that hole. Good try by Miller, just overdove. Hit him up on the wrist. Now you can give that run to that guy right there. Small ball, little sacrifice, move the runner over. Gerard Dyson doing the little things. That's his 4th sacrifice on the year.
6 hits and 3 walks for Butera, so he's been on 9 times in the last 5 games. Escobar struck out on 3 straight pitches in the 1st inning against Archer, and none of the pitches were in the strike zone. Swung at a couple of fastballs up and out of the strike zone, and then a changeup down. And Archer, that was interesting. He was about to come set, backed off the rubber, and then walked down the back of the mound onto the grass for a little mental reset.
I think that's what that was. But after that first at bat, he struck Eske out in 3 pitches, and they all were balls. He's not going to throw a strike to Eske. They've already upped their mark. Now they're at 277 as a team with runners in scoring position. Ryan, I believe this is the hottest I've seen the Royals over a stretch of period now in just my short 5 years. Especially at home. What new?
Fair ball. Butera to 3rd. Mike Jerschele will hold him there. And that is base hit 999 in Alcides Escobar's career. And the Royals have runners at second and third with one out. Also gives Esky a 9-game hitting streak.
Archer knew what he was facing. Previous 2 games, he saw the red-hot Royals, especially last night coming off of a season-high 17-hit game. He says, man, I'm going to do my best, but good luck. And they are just breaking out a little track meet right here on him. Jurors holding him up, saying, look, there's no need to force in. We got some more hot hitters coming. Infield's in.
Good location. Merrifield looking for a good pitch to hit. And a cutter that was just outside.
Merrifield knows where the biggest hole in the diamond is with the infield in. It's right back up the middle.
He doubled to right field in the first inning, taking advantage of Souza, who is very shallow. Same pitch. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, after that double he hit last inning, pitch was a good fastball down and on the outer half of the plate. So he says, I'm not going to throw him any more of those. 2 sliders so far, 0-2.
That one stayed up, but he still got it by Merrifield. And that's Archer's second strikeout. Big out for him. The Royals could have added to their lead with a well-placed out. Archer faced the Royals only once last year. And look at that. The Royals scored 9 runs on 12 hits in 6 innings. And that ties for the most runs and most hits ever allowed by Archer in one start. And now the Royals have 3 runs, 6 hits against him in an inning and 2/3 tonight. Downstairs to Kane. Lorenzo singled to right, drove in a run and scored a run. He scored on a Kendrys Morales base hit to left field. Two 2-0. Lorenzo now has hit in 13 straight games against Tampa Bay. Three 3-0 with Hosmer on deck.
We talked about the walks. 29, that's 4th in the American League. Now he does have strikeout ability in Archer. You see the 96 he's got. That's an above average fastball. And 72 strikeouts. That's a good amount, but just not tricking the Royals tonight.
Three and one.
But Jim Hickey, in his 10th season with the Rays, he's got to be pulling his hair out. How to fix Archer? How do you fix this guy? Look at him. Look at that look right there. He's grimacing. He's like, can't believe it again.
You know, sometimes pitchers or position players have bad years, but when you're as talented as Archer, people want to know why. One explanation I've heard during this series from someone connected with the Rays, they play so many spring training games against teams in their division that he was always on the backfields against minor leaguers to get his work in, because the Rays didn't want those opponents, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, all in close proximity to their spring training home. They didn't want them to see Archer, so he didn't pitch in many, quote, spring training games. Longoria, it's off his glove, a run scores. It's an error on Longoria. The Royals, after getting 2 in the first inning, have 2 more in the second.
Yeah, and you know, Longoria, he makes this play in his sleep. Just got off the end of his glove, though. He didn't quite get it in the pocket where he wanted it. So look, Archer, when it's going bad, it's going bad. But Ryan, that's an excellent point you bring up about the Rays playing all American League Eastern teams. Those are the only guys they play. I mean, all season, and they're seeing the majority of them 18 times. I mean, that's something that I'm sure that weighs on those managers, and that's why they hide guys on the backfield and stuff. And for Archer, he needs to get out there and face big league hitters.
And you know, it's one thing to do it occasionally. The Royals do the same thing in spring training. Every now and then they'll hold someone and put them in a backfield game. But for a guy like Chris Archer, who has a lot of major league experience, he wants to get out in a bigger stadium with the crowd and, as you said, big league hitters, and kind of get the adrenaline rush, as opposed to the equivalent of the crowd of a high school game against lesser competition.
Yeah, and here's what John Smoltz would do when we trained against them and shared the same complex. He would throw nothing but fastballs in spring training. Okay, wouldn't even throw secondary pitches. He would just go fastball, fastball, fastball. If you hit it good, next game, sure, here's some more of them. And I remember thinking, this guy's not that good. And then when I saw him in the regular season, oh, forget it. Couldn't even foul a pitch off.
Hosmer again chases a pitch down against Archer and grounds out to second base. But the Royals have picked him up tonight after getting 2 in the first, 2 more in the second. Drew Butera drives in the first run, and the Royals get another run thanks to an error. Look at that.
I got just enough money left for the long road trip after I paid that gentleman to wear that jersey.
Now, for a relatively new Royals fan, they would assume that that's a Royals jersey, but
it's an Expos jersey. It's the only time in my career I ever wore that number, ever. The only season, 2 seasons.
Well hit to center field. Kane was shallow. He got turned around. Mikey Matuk will stop at second base with a leadoff double. Ball really took off on Kane.
Better believe it did. Toughest ball for the center fielder, barring none. The one hit directly over your head, just like this one. Okay, you try to make the right turn, but sometimes you don't. And at the last minute, he tried to correct, and the ball just was hit too hard. It had a lot of nice little backspin on it. Good try.
There it is. What does that say in French there?
All-Star game.
Party of the something or other. Talking about the 1982 All-Star game. Out to Kane again. Matuk goes to second. Lorenzo makes the play, and the throw will be cut off. So Casale gets Matuk to third base with one out. The next time you want to grab Royals seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find the seats you'll love wherever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by best value. They take the price and location of seats and show you which tickets at StubHub give you the best deal. So get the StubHub app today.
StubHub.
Well done. Brandon Guyer takes a changeup for a strike. Guyer fouled out to Merrifield in the first inning. Escobar out. Kane calls him off. Not deep enough for Matuk to even think about tagging. And Brandon Guyer is 0 for 12 in this series.
Aggressive hitter. Swinging at a lot of first pitches. We talked about it last night. Doesn't have a whole lot of walks. In that leadoff spot, you got to be a catalyst player. You got to find a way to get on base. Six walks now in 34 plate appearances.
Brad Miller with a runner at third, 2 down. And that pitch, a slider, was in the strike zone in the first inning and struck out Miller looking.
Patera moved like a cat for that one. Would have scored the run. Danny Duffy of old, this time of the season, probably already have 3, maybe 4 wild pitches so far. None.
Fastball by him at 96. And I'm looking at his pitch count right now. In years past, 30 pitches might be the beginning of the second inning, middle of the second inning. He's at 28 with 2 down in the third. Infante can't quite get to it. So Miller comes up big. After Guyer wasn't able to get Matuk home from third with 1 out, Miller gets him home with 2 outs.
Got in on him, but he's able to keep his hands inside of the baseball. It looked like his bat stayed intact.
And that allows Longoria to come up with a man on. And that's hit hard into left center field. And off the wall. Miller to third. He's going to be waved home. Escobar, strong throw to the plate on a hop. See you later.
Wow. 6th outfield assist for Gerard Dyson, who threw it to Escobar on the line. Oh, there is absolutely no chance to score there. Got it by a mile. Charlie Montoyo, you got to go.
That's what a strong arm do. 4-1 Royals to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and if Salvi can't be in the game, well, then we want to have him on with us here on TV with that great smile. And Salvi, first of all, the fans, I'm sure, want to know how you doing.
Great. I was running today a little bit and I was hitting today too, and I feel great. My little problem is when I go down, when I squat. So I think we're gonna try to catch bullpen tomorrow in Cleveland, and maybe Saturday or Sunday we're gonna play.
All right, that's great news. Hey,
Yeah.
your timing is good because of the last play in the top of the 3rd inning, and I've always wondered. I never played catcher, but on a play like that, you're waiting for the throw, and you know a runner's coming at the same time. I'll bet it's hard sometimes to really concentrate on the ball, knowing you got to grab it and tag real fast.
Yeah, it's a little hard, you know, but we just need to do what Drew's doing right now. You know, try to catch the ball first, and after we catch the ball, just try to get it running.
Salvi, outside of you, who has the best throwing arm on the team?
Oof, good question. I think Esky.
All right, now where's Hosmer in there? Hosmer don't get a lot of throws. He's got a good arm though.
Hosmer had a little sinker too. So.
Okay, now Dyson. Now that was his 6th outfield assist. Where does he rank?
He's pretty good. I think in the 4th. I got Esky. I got Drew, Dyson, Hosmer, Lorenzo Kane.
Okay, Cuthbert. Now you got to throw Chesler in there.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of arms.
Chesler's got a cannon.
I can't, yeah. I was crazy. Yeah, he got pretty good one too, loco.
Yeah, way to go. Hey, Salvi. So, what do you spend most of your time doing now when you come to the ballpark?
Try to doing a lot of treatment, you know, and talk to the guys.
How,
a little bit.
How early do you have to get here?
I get here like 12:30. Because I know wanna be around this guy. You know, they prepare himself to get ready for the game. So I wanna do it before the game or during the game.
Right. So when you're on the disabled list, you come early, get your treatment, and then when the regular guys come in, they get theirs.
Yes, we got like a 2-time treatment. So I like to do it early and during the game. So this guy ready for play the game.
Salvi, in a situation like this during the game, do you spend some time with Dave Island talking about the pitcher and the game plan?
Yeah, always. I like to learn. And, you know, couple situations like 1-1, 1-2, something like that, just talk to him and ask, hey, what do you think if I call slider? And he just tell me what he has.
Salvi, you're the leading vote getter for the All-Star game so far.
That was great.
How does that make you feel, bud?
Made me feel so happy, and want to say thank you for all the fans and thank you for the support.
0-1 on Paulo Orlando.
No, down.
That away. Hey, he's got a 14-game hitting streak, Salvi.
Good for him. What's mine? Mine was like 13, no? Something 12?
Was it? Hang on, let me get the notes out. Salvi's was
12 or 11, something
12.
like that.
12.
Yeah.
Do you remember your longest?
I think 2 years ago. Like
17.
17,
Yep,
yeah.
17 game
I
hitting
say
streak.
like 16, something like that.
Yep.
Wow, Salvi, way to go. 9 was my highest, and I ran all of those.
Where you higher?
9 games
9?
only. Yeah, and you know, I couldn't hit like you, Salvi. but
Look, you're fuerte, man.
I could run, but I couldn't hit.
A lot of bone, like Dyson?
Oh, a lot of bunts. but Salvi, what's the most fun part of your game?
I think when I behind the home plate, you know, when I block some ball, I kill like close situation with David in the mouth. We got running in third base, and I call breaking ball, and everybody know he throw hard breaking ball. So when he throw in front of the home plate, I block the pitch. So I throw the first base, and the game's over. I think that's the fun part.
Nice.
Did he go? No swing.
Hey, now, Salvi, do you give any tips to anybody who's doing the Salvi splash? Do you give Butera any tips? Because Butera...
That was malo, man. That was malo.
Yeah, malo in Spanish, for those of you who don't know, is bad. And we're showing it. Slipped right up his hand.
I was laughing at that. Oh, my God. And he only have like a little water in the book. I don't know what's wrong with him. I was crazy. I was laughing.
Salvi, you have no trouble at 250 pounds, picking that bucket up and throw it. Looks like a feather in your hand. These guys, I'm watching, they're struggling with that. It's heavy.
I'm fuerte, loco, you know.
I know you're strong. I know that, Salvi. But
Like you.
Yeah, nice grab and raise the roof. Yeah, Salvi, it's fun when you win, isn't it?
Yeah, when we win, it was a great feeling, you know. Oof.
One down. Salvi, last night we showed the highlights. I'll never forget your major league debut in Tampa Bay.
I was skinny.
You were. You look so young, but gosh, what a great impact you had. We're showing it now. You can't see it, but we're showing it now. That skinny face, Salvador Perez, and you picked off 2 guys.
How many
in your
papa?
big league debut.
How many papa I catch that night?
Oh man, it was like 4 or 5, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you almost picked off a runner at every base.
And yeah, in second base, I think.
Second base came very close.
Very close, yeah. That was pretty, you know, excited.
Sure.
My first day in big league, I just tried to do the best I can do, and play hard.
And you got an RBI that game, right?
Yeah, and Wade Davis was pitching. Sorry, Wade.
That's right. That was against Wade Davis. Wade Davis was pitching for the Rays. That's
the
right.
good thing now we harder in here.
Players don't forget anything. Salvi, what's your favorite moment so far in your young career?
I got a lot of favorite moments, loco. When we won the World Series, that was a great moment. When I was in the Mariano Rivera All-Star game with him, Derek Jeter, you know, when we cleaned the division. It's a lot of exciting moments, so we're gonna never forget that.
What about the base hit in the wild card game?
That was there too. I got my bat, I got the ball, I got everything in my house.
Do you really? The bat and the ball?
Yeah, and I put in the walk.
Salvi, that was the greatest baseball game I ever witnessed, and many other people say the same things. And some of us have been around the game a long time, but that was exciting.
Are we gonna never forget George Brett's face after I saw the highlight the next day on TV? He was like, "Oh my God, thank you, God," you know, like, wow, I never see something like that.
Right.
I was crazy.
Salvi, so that nice Camaro they gave you, I saw it in the parking lot. Do you drive it every once in a while?
Yeah, no, every day to the ballpark. So
it's beautiful.
That's made me happy, you know.
Yes.
We looked it up, Salvi. You caught 5 pop-ups in your big league debut.
Yeah, 5 pop-ups.
Wow.
In 2 innings, no?
So, Hud, first RBI, 5 pop-ups.
First base hit.
First base hit and picked off 2 guys in his big league debut.
Unbelievable.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was good.
Wow.
Oh,
that was
I'll
awesome.
never forget it. I'll never forget the way.
My mom was crying. I called my mom after that game, and I don't even understand what she said to me. She was crying, you know, happy. That was awesome.
How's your mom doing?
She's good. Thank you for asking.
I'm glad she's safe. That was a scary moment in spring training.
Maria Gabriela, my chica, too. She's fine.
Good. Hey, Salvi, we hope you're right, and we see you this weekend on the field.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for chatting with us.
Salvi, see you on the plane, pana.
See you, pana.
Okay, mi amigo. There it was. A special moment. Salvi said he's had many in his young career. That was one of them. And there's the other. No one will forget that. I'm getting goosebumps now. Call the cops.
4-1 Royals. Danny Duffy gets the middle of the Rays order. Steven Souza Jr. out in front of a slider. There we go. Well, we always need help in the booth.
Oh, especially when you got to work with me, Ryan. Look at that kid. He's looking up here.
I mean, it's going to be a late night to Cleveland. So if that little guy can get the job done, we can get to the airport. We could get in a decent hour. Good night's rest for that first game in Cleveland tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at it. Mom and Dad are saying, hey, look, you never know.
Three-pitch strikeout. And for Danny Duffy, that's his second strikeout of the night. One down in the fourth inning. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, good to see Paulo Orlando back out there tonight because he got drilled by a pitch up on his wrist, and that's the second time in 2 straight homestands it's happened. But what you'll see now is that he's going to be wearing a pad to protect it. I think Paulo, guys, is building a reputation of being a tough guy, because if you remember back on the last homestand, he got drilled in the back by Julio Teheran. Then he gets hit by Mike Foltynewicz in the wrist, a little below where last night's was. He said that one ballooned up overnight. And then the hit again by a pitch last night. Talking to someone from the Braves a couple of weeks ago, they said, man, if there's a fight, better not be on the field when that guy's on the field, because he is really tough. But look for that padding on his wrist when he's at the plate. He showed that to me today, and the inside of that padding is actually some of the material that is in Salvador Perez's helmet, similar type of material to protect that. But Paulo Orlando definitely showing his toughness.
Oh, Joe, you better believe it. Now, Major League Baseball, you know, fans watch and go, well, it's not a lot of contact. You know, it's not a physical contact sport, but it's a grinding, grueling sport. And guys that want to play every day, and this guy's worked 9 years in the minors to get his position here. He's worked his tail off, and now he's staying in through these little nicks and injuries, learning how to play with injuries, and is a very special trait. Some players don't get it. He does.
Slide step on Morrison, and it's outside, and a swing. Morrison can't believe it. That's Ben May, the third base umpire. And now Morrison goes to the next closest umpire, or the closest umpire, Lance Barrett, and gives a little piece of his mind. Yeah,
he went.
First glance, I thought that was a break for the Royals, but watching that replay, that looks like he went. Ben May, a minor league call-up. Bob Davidson, who was behind the plate last night, is off tonight. So back-to-back strikeouts for Duffy to begin the fourth inning. And now pitches to Desmond Jennings, who had a broken bat base hit to left his first time up. Duffy almost got him on the back foot. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jennings is hitting at 175. One and 2. Danny Duffy, with 2 outs in the fourth inning, has thrown only 39 pitches.
So far, that last start was not a fluke.
Changeup strikes him out. He strikes out the side, and Duffy is averaging 10 pitches per inning.
Whoo, man, is Duffy toughy.
Perfect homestand. They are 5-0. And they lead 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Marlon Byrd, the veteran Marlon Byrd, done for the year. And this will carry over to next year if he tries to come back. Suspended for a positive performance enhancing drug test. It's the second of his career. That's why it's so severe. And remember, the reason why the Indians signed Marlon Byrd is because their young center fielder Abraham Almonte was suspended for 80 games in spring training for the same thing. So the Indians have been hit twice. And that's who the Royals face beginning tomorrow night for a 4-game series in Cleveland.
He caught another one. I can't believe Mike. He's going really good.
Just when you think you know somebody.
Look at him. He's digging himself.
1-2 on Butera. Archer gave up 2 in the first inning, 2 in the second. One of those runs was unearned, and then worked around a leadoff walk and had a scoreless third. 2-2 on Butera. Strikeout. And that is Archer's third.
Royals fans, mark your calendars for the second T-shirt Tuesday coming up on June 14th. The first 10,000 fans through the gate will receive a Keep the Line Moving T-shirt presented by the Kansas City Steak Company. Arrive early to get your T-shirt and cheer on the Royals as they host the Cleveland Indians. For tickets, visit Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. Looks like a good one.
Alcides Escobar rolls it out to Motter. Esky's 1 for 3. His double in the second inning was career hit 999. A reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And now Archer with 2 down will get Whit Merrifield.
Archer looking for his first 1, 2, 3 inning.
Thinking about a bunt. Longoria was playing in, not all the way in. A run scored in 9 consecutive games. That ties a Royals rookie record. Mike Aviles back in 08 ended up being the Royals player of the year that season. Base hit right field. Whit Merrifield is a machine. At least so far he is.
That's a pitch on his hands. They're trying to get it in there. And he says, nah, I'm going to carry my hands inside. I'm going to use the whole part of the field so I can get on base. Beautiful swing. All right. He's got a little small leg lift, but nothing else. Great head position. Hands through the ball. Another knock.
There's a base hit. Right center field. Merrifield makes the turn. He'll go to third. Lorenzo Cain and Whit Merrifield both have multi-hit games. And with 2 outs, the Royals get 2 hits and have runners at the corners.
Down the middle and another opposite field hit. Second base umpire Dale Scott needs to be quick on his feet. Had to get out of the way of that one.
Eric Hosmer's 0 for 2. Twice very early in the count, Chris Archer has thrown a fastball down and out of the strike zone and got Eric to chase both times. And he's grounded out to second base twice. Let's see if Archer tries to stay down there. Goes with a changeup. Nice block by Casali. 1 ball and no strikes.
That is a good stop there. 5 wild pitches Archer has so far this season. You know, if Hosmer gets a hit here, this is what 2-out hits do to the opposing pitcher and the team. Archer thought he had a 1-2-3 inning, and all of a sudden the next 2 guys hits. And if Hosmer keeps this going here.
Down and out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A little anxious tonight.
Well, you can imagine why. He wants to swing the bat. Hitting .591 on the homestand coming into tonight's game.
He wants to get that mark over 5.
Whit Merrifield has started 11 games for the Royals, and in 7 of those games he has more than 1 hit. Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Kevin Cash's team has lost 3 straight, 6 of their last 7, 9 of their last 11, and they're down 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Didn't quite get his arms extended, and Jennings will bring it down in center field. So the Royals strand 2 at the end of 4. The Royals lead is 4-1. He's made a good play at third base, giving Cheslor Cuthbert the night off, and Ned Yost accomplishes 2 things. Cuthbert gets off of his feet for a game, and Ned can continue to spread Merrifield around the field, keeping him sharp at as many positions as possible. Slider for a strike to Taylor Motter. Hit the ball hard and grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. 0-2.
The strength of Duffy obviously is his power fastball. Hitters all gear up for that. And when he has command with his changeup and his slider, those 2 pitches, and he's throwing those for strikes, makes him very tough to guess with. Got to look heater, but with Duffy's command with his changeup, he's been very effective with that pitch to throwing it for strikes. Throws a hitter off.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 with a changeup. And Duffy has struck out 4 straight. 5 in the game.
Motter, hate to say it, but you got to go.
There's Brett Eibner. In the big picture, this is good news, because when he went down like this and could hardly put any weight on that ankle and had to be carted off, I thought going to the disabled list for 15 days would be a stretch. But as we found out, it was a left ankle sprain, our University of Kansas hospital injury report, and he indeed goes on the 15-day disabled list.
Ah, too bad.
2 balls and no strikes on Mikey Matuk. He got buzzed by Chris Young last night.
Sure did. Then he set him up with a slider away. Struck him out.
Paulo is back in right field. 2 down. Matuk doubled and scored the Rays run back in the 3rd inning. Tampa Bay has just 1 run on 4 hits against Danny Duffy, who is staying on a 10 pitch per inning pace. 12 pitches or fewer, very good. 12 to 17, 18 acceptable. Anytime you're 20 or more pitches per inning, that's bad. Dave Eiland has to be thrilled with Danny Duffy. He is pitching effectively and efficiently.
Look at him.
And he listens to the broadcast.
He's like shaking his head saying, I agree with you. Uh-oh.
Kurt Casale belts his 6th home run of the year. It is now 4-2.
Fourth home run given up by Danny Duffy, all to right-handed batters. Just a quick, easy swing.
That's not a bad pitch.
No, wasn't bad. He just credit Casale. Didn't try to do too much. Let the power of Duffy's fastball propel that thing out. Nice, easy swing.
Breaking ball for a strike to Brandon Guyer. He is 0 for 2 tonight and 0 for 12 in the series. He's got everything working tonight.
Sure does. Great spot there.
No swing. Dan Isonia is the first base umpire. Yikes.
It looked to me like he went. What? Looked to me like doesn't work like it used to.
Still 1-2 on Guyer.
Periodically, whenever Danny pitches, I think of great manager Jim Leland. Every time I saw, even when Duffy was out for a period of time, every time I would go over there when he was a Tiger with the Tigers, and I would say, "Hey Jim, how you doing? How's that Duffy kid? How's Duffy?" He always asked about Danny Duffy. First thing. He loves this guy. Ooh.
That's the 15th time that Brandon Guyer has been hit by a pitch. It also got Drew Butera.
Ooh, that hurt. He's walking that one off.
Guyer leads the major leagues in that category. He's been hit 6 more times than any other player and more than 11 teams.
Got a little thigh ball. Butera. Hit right off the top of the foot and then right in the right quadricep. Ouch.
So there's Brandon Guyer and there's everybody else in the category of hit by pitch.
Royals have been hit 15 times as a team. The whole team.
Big out right here with Longoria on deck. Longoria just missed a home run last time up, so Duffy would like to get Miller here and leave Longoria in the on deck circle. 0-1. Miller drove in the Rays' first run in the third inning with a single, and then Duffy struck him out in his first at bat. Fastball at 97 across the knees. That ball just exploded through the strike zone.
Ooh, I'll say. Ooh. That was some cheese at the knees for sure.
What a sight it is tonight. Great weather, big crowd. The Royals are going for a perfect homestand. 0-2 on Miller. Fastball got him looking, and that pitch was at 97. So the Rays inch closer to the Royals on the Casale home run. Duffy has struck out 6. 4-2 KC at the end of 4.5. This is Lynn Barron. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Lynn's daughter Amy died of melanoma at the age of 30. And Lynn realized she knew very little about the disease and very little money was devoted to the research. So she started the Miles for Melanoma Kansas City. They'll host their 6th annual 5K run walk and kids fun run. And Lynn also educates people about sun safety in hopes that she will be able to save someone from the disease that took her daughter. And of course that hits home with us, as Archer will take it himself. We lost both Paul Splittorff and Fred White to melanoma. So Lynn, we applaud your efforts.
Yes, thank you.
There he is, the all-time Winningest pitcher in Royals history. Best pitch face in Royals history. I remember asking Split, because just about every picture we have of him delivering a pitch, he has that same look. And I'd say, why did you have that look on your face? And he said, probably because I was saying, oh, this is really going to hurt. Paulo Orlando is grounded out to second base and flied out to right. That's been Archer's best pitch tonight, his hard slider. He has struck out 3. 2 with the slider. He's also jumped ahead of the hitters he has jumped ahead of tonight with that pitch. Get the feeling that the hitters think they're getting a fastball until the last moment. Doesn't break a lot. Upstairs, 1 and 2 on Paulo.
Yeah, Archer got that run. Now it's just 2 runs. He's got a little confidence. He's telling himself, we're right in this game.
No swing. 2 and 2. Not the dreaded eyelash.
Happens every night.
Big bounce for Miller. 2 down.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. The Royals coming in second in the league in hitting behind Boston with a .272 average. Watch them go to the opposite field. This is how you hit for average as a player and as a team. Love these approaches here. These are all pitches that could be pulled or tried to, but the way they're going with is frustrating to Archer. And Dale Swaim deserves a lot of that credit. Now the Red Sox are 22 points higher at 294, but the Royals are closing in.
294 as a team.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an incredible mark. And my other favorite player, Mookie Betts, hit 2 more home runs today. 3 last night, 2 today. 5 homers in 2 games.
The first one was a leadoff home run. Was the second one a go-ahead home run? Inside to Infante. Omar's 1 for 2 with a run scored. That's out of play. 2 and 2. Mookie Betts homered in the first 2 innings tonight. Leadoff home run and then a go-ahead home run, but that one is as late as I thought it was. Tough luck for Infante. He hits it hard, but right to Miller. And that's Archer's first 1-2-3 inning. We've played 5 at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals lead 4-2.
Kansas City night. How about in Baltimore for our Taminia Mazda game break? Hud, you mentioned Mookie Betts. Okay, there's one after his three home run game last night. There's two. So he ties a major league record for 5 home runs in 2 games. Bryce Harper most recently did it. It's only the 6th inning, so he's got a chance to set a major league record, guys, with 6 home runs in 2 games. And oh, by the way, remember when Jackie Bradley had that 29-game hitting streak? We saw that here. Xander Bogaerts extends his hitting streak to 25. So Bradley the longest this year, Bogaerts second, and Eric Hosmer third with 18. And one other thing, word travels fast because guys will go up into the clubhouse in the locker room in between innings for one thing or another. They'll see some highlights, and so word got around that after that first homer, the tower was buzzed on Betts. He ducked, second homer, yep, right after, it's gone. There you go, Askey passing it on to Haas.
Now, was that before the first home run or before the second home run?
Second home run. Hit the first, tower was buzzed on the second, responded with the home run.
Gotta like that. He doesn't back down.
Popped up.
Oh, keep your eye on that one.
Hosmer can't find it, and Infante didn't see it. I never saw it.
Man, and the minute it went up, this is the time of night, I'm thinking, you know, you guys, who's going to find it? And they did. Longoria going good. He got a 70-foot pop-up single. Throwing his bat down, had no idea, and neither one could see it.
I think Duffy was the only one who saw it. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe he did right at the last moment, but for a while he didn't see it. Look at Drew Butera. Drew Butera noticed that nobody could see it, so he went running out. So that time of night where the ball blends in with the sky. Break for the Rays, and now Steven Souza Jr. represents the tying run. He is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. He has homered 9 times this year. Fastball by him at 96. The sky is a combination of gray, light blue, and pink. On the ground, left side, Merrifield cuts in front of Escobar, and that's an easier angle for him to go to second base, and the Royals get the lead runner.
Now Escobar was not upset at all. You see him, he just pointed to him. Anytime you have a third baseman that wants to come and make that play, like you said, Ryan, it's easier. And for Merrifield, you got to credit him for his aggressiveness, the fact that he's confident. He looked calm. He didn't rush the throw and throw it into right field. He got the out. Very nice play.
So there you go. Blend of at least 3 colors, and the 3 most difficult colors to find a baseball, a rubbed up baseball in the air. Makes for a nice photograph. Not a whole lot of fun if you're trying to catch a ball up against that sky.
Most of the guys that don't get a chance to play every day, they work really hard before games, and then before the game, even during batting practice, they're taking ground balls and working. But when you play every day, you're not expected to do early work. But in some cases, some guys go out there and ask the coach, hey, look, I need a little bit of work here. Would you hit me some balls? Sure enough, about 2:30, 3 o'clock, there he is. Trying to improve, trying to stay sharp, trying to contribute to Royals wins. Jershely, fantastic instructor and a really good manager in AAA. Has a great way with these young players.
Two balls and no strikes on Logan Morrison.
Making the show is not easy. Staying is the hardest part. Can you stay up here? And your work habits will define that.
Pulled foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. All those years when the Royals were losing 90 or more games, if anyone was playing well at AAA, they were called up. Poor Mike Jershely would just, he'd get a player on a roll and they'd be on their way to Kansas City, and yet he would win Pacific Coast League title one after another. Broken bat, and it gets past Hosmer. A deke at second base. Alcides Escobar sold Steven Souza Jr. that Hosmer fielded that ground ball, and he went sliding into second base rather than round second base. And the Rays have runners at second and third with 1 out.
Almost worked. Watch him. The hitter can't see the ball. Watch Escobar at the top of your screw. We'll show it again here. See him? He went ahead and acted like Hosmer was throwing the ball to him. Souza picks it up and says, oh, he tried to deke me. And he did. But the ultimate deke is if he can't advance. Good try.
So the Rays get a couple of breaks in this inning. The pop up from Longoria, which dropped. That was their first base runner. Now a cracked bat ground ball up the right field line for a double. And here's Desmond Jennings. He had a broken bat base hit in the second inning, and then he struck out in the fourth.
Duffy has strikeout ability. Like to see it here.
On the ground to Merrifield. Play is to first in time. The Rays get a run. It is 4-3. Souza scores. Morrison goes to third, and Jennings gets an RBI.
If Hosmer doesn't get a piece of that ball down the line off Morrison's bat with his glove, the ball slowed down enough. That decoy, that Escobar put on might have worked. Could have saved a run. Good try.
Taylor Motter with a runner at third base, 2 down. Changeup up and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Luke Hochevar warms up in the Royals bullpen. Duffy still in good shape with his pitch count at 72 in 5 2/3 innings. At the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you pound that strike zone down there with 97. There's not too many hitters that can put that in play for a hit.
Same spot. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Last 2 pitches were almost right on top of each other. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Line to center field. Kane is there. So a mixture of bad fortune and good fortune for Danny Duffy as the Rays keep chipping away. Down by 3. Now Tampa Bay trails only by 1. First and 2 in the second. So actually the Royals lead was 4-0. Tampa Bay has 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Chris Archer has settled in. He is not allowed a run in his last 3 innings. It'll be Dyson, Butera, and Escobar in the bottom of the 6th. That's been his best pitch tonight, his slider. Strike 1 to Dyson. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Kathy Gooden from Leavenworth. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Kathy wins $100. Outside, if the Royals hit a grand slam, then Kathy Gooden wins $25 from Sonic and the Royals. Dyson has a sac bunt and a ground out, 0 for 1. Slider makes it 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now it's Joakim Soria warming up. Nedios prepares the back end of the bullpen. He had Hochevar ready if Duffy wasn't able to get out of the 6th inning, but he retired Taylor Motter with the tying run at 3rd base to get through 6. Dyson makes contact. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bad news for the Royals is that Archer is settling in. The good news for the Royals is that he's settling in at 92 pitches. And you figure Kevin Cash isn't going to stretch him too far. He threw 113 in his previous start. And the Rays are working in the bullpen. Xavier Cedeno begins to throw. Not even throwing on the rubber yet, just playing catch. Early stages of warming up. Dyson works a full count. Dyson comes back from 1-2 to take a leadoff walk. Dyson has 4 walks during the homestand. Leadoff man on.
Cash got to be happy that at least that's just his 2nd walk for Archer. Had some command issues this year.
Our sprint trivia question for tonight: name the 5 Royals pitchers with 2 or more wins against the Rays since 2012. Dyson runs, and Butera trying to make contact. I didn't notice if Dyson looked in, so whether that was a straight steal or a hit and run.
Looked to me like the way Butera tried to swing at that pitch that it was a hit and run. And we'll see if Dyson peeks back. Yep, he looked back. And the reason that managers like to run it, put a hit and run on with 1 out, is that it doesn't take you out of the inning. With no outs, guy, you get thrown out at second base, it kind of squashes a rally. So, but with Dyson and his speed, chances are if Drew misses, he's going to get the bag.
Not running this time, and Butera taking high, snap throw, and Dyson is back in time. I don't know if Casale had decided before the pitch was thrown that he was going to try, but some catchers, when a hitter squares to bunt and the pitch goes through, assume that the runner is going to be leaning to the next base, and they will, on reflex, just throw down to a base.
Yeah, and usually with more success with guys at second base. They get a little bigger lead. Casale looking over at the bench. Managers, they handle the running game for the catcher.
And again, Casale this time thought about throwing down to first. 2 balls and 1 strike. Butera tied up and bunts it foul. 2-2. I think right now you want Butera swinging the bat.
Yeah.
And he's 1 for 2 tonight and 6 out of 11 on the homestand.
Well, one thing we've found out over the last few years is that the confidence Ned has in his players doesn't necessarily have to put a sign on. Sometimes the hitter does that on his own.
Dyson runs, and Butera takes high. The throw is not in time.
Good jump, Casale. He came out of there with a nice throw. 10th steal of the year. Full speed and 1.5 steps. He's there. It's always a good pitch to throw on that ball that's up. Put it almost on the bag. Motter couldn't get it to him. Drew choking up on that bat even more now. He just wants to put it in play. Flare it out there somewhere. That's what he wants.
Fouled away. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the KC metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Up the middle. That'll get Dyson to third as Motter makes a play. A good at bat, a productive out for Butera, and a little insurance down at third base with one out.
Excellent job. Butera didn't do it with a bunt, but he got a nice little pitch to do something with there. Moved it.
Remember, you can cement your memories forever with a championship legacy brick. You can create a personalized message that includes the 2015 World Series logo. Your brick will then be installed in the ground outside of the stadium gates, and a portion of the proceeds of the brick go to support Royals charities. And a chance for history right here. Alcides Escobar has a chance to drive in a run. If he does with a base hit, it'll be hit number 1,000 in his career. Changeup is outside, and Archer put his hands out to his sides, wondering why it wasn't a strike, and then looked into his own dugout for support. Esky doubled in the second inning for base hit 999. Low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Huge hole up the middle.
Slider is called a strike.
Slider's been a good pitch, but there's been a few that he's left up, and some of the Royals haven't swung at him.
And he's at 105 pitches, and when a pitcher gets tired, those pitches are usually up. That's what Esky's looking for with the infield in. Same pitch, same result, 2-2. First time through, the Royals had 4 runs, 5 hits against Archer. Second time through, no runs, 1 hit. Third time through, no runs, 2 hits. And now it's their 4th time against Archer. Escobar, right center field. That's plenty deep enough. So he doesn't get the hit, but he gets the RBI.
He'll get that hit, but that RBI tonight for Danny Duffy is important.
Get him on, get him over, get him in.
Believe it. Nice job, Drew Butera.
So the Royals bullpen has a 2-run lead. And now the Royals have scored 5 or more runs in 9 straight games.
Alan, in that period of time, fans in baseball are watching the Royals at their finest. How they pressure defenses, how they put the ball in play, how they hit homers, sacrifice bunts, sac flies, moving runners, using the opposite field. This is a fundamentally sound offense, and you can credit the players, but you better give Dale Swaim some credit too. He's very patient with these guys. He says it's an unusual hitting team. He's never seen a team that can do this. You know, they don't strike out, they don't walk, but they put the ball in play.
And they win.
And they win. That's the bottom line. Drive the sabermetric geeks crazy.
That slider's given Merrifield a bad time tonight. So Archer picks up a strikeout, but the Royals get a leadoff walk, a stolen base. They advance a runner with a ground ball and score him on a fly ball. has a 2-run lead as he takes over in the top of the 7th inning.
And his ERA is gradually moving down. And that's exactly what he wants. And you talk about making adjustments, because this is the game of adjustments. It's played every day. On the left there, that was his stance before he threw home earlier in the season when he had an ERA over 6, over 7 almost. Now on the right there, he's made an adjustment with the little bend, and it's allowed him to get his arm slot in the proper place. He's got 4 pitches, very good with all 4 of them. He mixes them, but even pitchers have to make those adjustments as well.
Soria gets the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Matuk, Casale, and Geyer. 1 ball and 1 strike on Matuk. He doubled leading off the 3rd inning and scored the Rays' first run. He is 1 for 2. Just 2 out of 23 this year at the big league level. Fastball by him at 93, 1-2.
Plenty enough fastball for Sawyer to get his work done. Show that hitter that 93. We've even seen some 94s. And he comes back with a big curve, slider, changeup. Makes those even look better. Got him on a curve.
Infante is out. Orlando is in. Paulo grabs it with 2 hands. 1 down in the 7th inning.
Our Hall of Famer, the great Jeff Montgomery, had a chance to talk with Joaquin about the adjustments he's made.
I was putting my glove I throw out of the stretch, so putting my glove down. Now I raise my hands a little bit. That way I had time to free my arm a little bit more and stay back. So I was going in front a little bit more, so I wasn't that sharp.
You know, Joaquin's first year with the Royals, he didn't speak hardly any English at all. And now just so easy to understand. Good feel for the language. Strong vocabulary, able to articulate himself.
Jack is what I heard Ned call him. He talked about being forward. He was too much forward. If a hitter is forward in his swing, he has nothing left to swing with. So the two are very similar, pitching and hitting. It's all about balance, shoulders, weight shift, arm slots.
Three balls and no strikes on Casale. He homered in the 5th inning. Oh. 3-1. Well hit center field. Lorenzo Cain is back. It's over his head and it's off the wall. Casale races for second. The Royals had to adjust the defense there. They were in sure double mode for a moment, and then Cain played it so well off the wall that Infante scrambled back to second with a chance to make a play. So 1 on, 1 out, and now the top of the order coming up. Here's tonight's Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. The Royals bullpen with a lead after 7. We're in the 7th now. Have not lost a game. Or when they have a lead after 8. They have the best ERA the bullpen does in the major leagues and have allowed the fewest home runs by a wide margin. Brandon Geyer takes high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Joaquin Soria in the month of May had a 1.35 ERA. That's why his ERAs overall is on the drop side, which is good. Coming down.
Tributera, make sure Lance Barrett's all right.
And if you're Kurt Casale, he must have ate his Cheerios this morning. He hit a bomb off of Duffy earlier, and he hit a ball 410 feet and got nothing to show for it but a double.
So are you saying Cheerios give you a little extra oomph?
Absolutely.
Okay. 2 balls and 1 strike. Soria fell behind Casale 3-0, then got a strike, and then Casale doubled on a 3-1 pitch, and now it's 2-1 on Geyer, and he has some power. He's homered 6 times. And now 3 balls and 1 strike. So what is Brandon Geyer right now? Is he a struggling hitter? He's 0 for 12 in this series, or is he a hitter that's due because he's 0 for 12 in the series? Now Soria wants to chat with Butera about an important pitch.
When in doubt, talk it out. Geyer's got some pop for a leadoff hitter. 6 homers. He's looking for a good pitch out over the middle.
3-2. He's only had 1 at bat before tonight against Soria, and he's 0 for 1. Casale's the runner at second base with 1 out. And they'll talk it over again. Give us some time to talk about Danny Duffy's night. Danny goes 6 innings. He has a quality start. He gives up 3 earned runs in 6 innings. No walks. And he struck out 6. Inside. 2 on, 1 out. That's the first walk of the game for a Royals pitcher to a Rays hitter. Duffy, by the way, hasn't walked a hitter in 15 2/3 innings.
Impressive, impressive. And for Geyer, that's just his 7th walk on the season. Hard to walk that guy. So he's got him in the right situation here for a nice little lane ball. That's another term used for a double play. Miller, left side of the batter's box, runs pretty well. Won't be easy. He's grounded into a pair already this year.
0 for 4 in his career against Soria, and 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI single. He's also struck out twice. Takes a fastball down the middle at 94. Backed him off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soria has the advantage, 1-2.
Two-seamer on the outer half of the plate. Nothing wrong with that spot. Wants to work that breaking ball down here. Let get Miller to hit one on the ground.
Breaking ball, but it stayed up.
Yep.
Let's see if he goes with a slow breaking ball. That was a trademark pitch for Soria when he was Royals closer. A lot of fastballs, cutter, occasional changeup, and then out of nowhere would break out that rainbow curve. He has used that pitch earlier in the count this time around as a Royal, and now he speeds up his delivery, trying to catch Miller off guard, and it's fouled away.
But he did come set. He's been having some problems with that earlier in the season. Box.
Did he? You know, it was close. Drew Butera immediately went out. Now that's slow motion, so it's tough to tell if he came set or not. But I wonder if Drew Butera didn't run out there right there and say, hey, don't forget to come set.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. I saw it too. He already has 3 on the year. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
He hung on to it. I don't know if he made contact or not. And Miller strikes out for a 3rd time tonight.
Changeup that was up in Butera. Yeah, he did not foul it off, so he would have been out.
Nice play anyway.
Sure was. Hard to tell, you know, if that ball gets tipped by the bat.
So Longoria comes up. He represents the go-ahead run, but the tying run is still at first base. So the strikeout was big, as Miller was not able to advance Casale and Geyer. 2 hits for Longoria tonight, a double and a single. The single was a pop-up that was lost in the twilight. Strike over the outside. Longoria is not happy with the strike zone. He's had a good series. He is 6 out of 11 with 3 doubles. And he's had good numbers against Soria. There's the curveball, but it stays high. 1 ball, 1 strike. With 1 out, Casale doubled, then Geyer walked, and then the strikeout against Miller. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Earlier, when Longoria hit that rifle shot off the wall, thought it might be out. This has turned into a beautiful relay. Watch this. Dyson picks it up, fires it to Escobar. 2 strong arms. Escobar, oh, perfect. Little short hop just in time. It bounced on the grass. It wasn't a short hop pick, and that was a beautiful relay. Helped out Danny Duffy. Royals are really good with their defense. We know that, but their relay throws, especially when Escobar's involved, and you put Dyson out there, and third base coach Charlie Montoyo will think twice about it again.
1-2 on Longoria. Fastball struck him out. Soria comes back. The Rays had 2 on, 1 out, and he strikes out Miller and Longoria.
Ooh, yeah. That's 95. Turn it up, Jack. Way to go, bud.
in the bottom of the 7th inning. And time for a Tuminia Mazda game break. 5 years ago on this date, Billy Butler hit a walk-off home run, but he had to wait a while early in the instant replay process. The Angels asked for a review. It was ruled a home run, and Billy finally got to circle the bases. Enny Romero is the new Rays pitcher, and his first pitch is driven into center field by Lorenzo Cain, who has a 3-hit game. And the new railing with the reconfigured Kauffman Stadium was giving umpires trouble, so they added the padding, the additional padding, which is just about as high as the railing is now. So the railing, as you could see from that last angle, is quite a bit behind the padding, but when you're looking from home plate toward the outfield fence, it looked a lot closer, so they added another foot of padding. So I guess we'll call it the Billy padding.
There you go.
Strike from Romero to Eric Hosmer.
Lorenzo Cain wasn't messing around. He's hit 381 off a lefty. His first pitch got his 3rd hit. Enny Romero throws hard. Got a fastball mid to upper 90s. Slider and a changeup.
Good slider. Chris Archer pitched Hosmer well down in the strike zone and out of the strike zone. Got a couple of ground balls to second base and a fly out to center against Hosmer. And with the count 0-2, he goes the other way. How many times has he done that on this homestand alone against left-hand pitching?
I'm going to say it at least 4 or 5 times. That's just a guess, but Hosmer has great pitch recognition, and he loves the high fastball. And he's not going to try to do too much with it because you can't pull that out of the park. He just went with it. Beautiful swing there, especially after the slider. Slider that looked like it hurt his bottom hand a little bit. He raked it. Look at that. Hits by direction. Simply awesome.
Chop foul by Kendrys Morales. You know, the thing about Hosmer too, you and I were talking about this with Ned Yost before the game tonight. You know, he's such a rare hitter in that, with the enormous power that he has, and it's really starting to blossom this year, that against certain pitchers he can be a completely different hitter. I mean, he becomes, if he needs to, he becomes a multi-dimensional hitter. He becomes a, I don't want to say slap, but a line drive to the opposite field type hitter, if that's what the game presents, if that's what the game requires of him.
Well, he's just a pure hitter.
Up and away, 1-2 on Morales. 1 for 2. Kendrys drove in a run with a single in the first inning and then walked in the third. And this is his strong side of the plate. That'll be out of play.
Fans, make sure to come to the K on Saturday, June 18th, versus the Tigers for the second bobblehead of the season. The Kendrys Morales 2015 ALDS bobblehead, courtesy of Kia. Arrive early as the first 20,000 fans through the gate receive this one-of-a-kind item. All of the bobbleheads commemorate the World Series championship run.
In on his hands. Going to be a tough play. Jennings comes up in center and it drops. And the Rays had a play at third base if Jennings was able to field that cleanly, but that bobble cost the Rays an out.
Jennings Had he not dropped it, had a shot to get Kane at third base on the force. This is tricky for the runners. Runners got to kind of read it. Now they're reading it. They're going to go halfway and get back. Low Kane thought they might going to make a play on it. And Morales, as many times as he's lined out this year, he'll take that any day.
Yeah, the Rays are probably saying to themselves in the dugout and on the field, oh man, bad luck for us. Well, they haven't seen Morales' entire season at the plate.
Couldn't believe it.
And what a great time for Paulo Orlando to extend his hitting streak. The only grand slam he has ever hit in his life was against Tampa Bay last year in game 1 of a doubleheader. It was a walk-off grand slam against Brad Boxberger. The Royals don't need a grand slam right now. But Paulo is 0 for 3 with that long hitting streak on the line. And he swung at 2 pitches out of the strike zone, 0-2.
The Royals overall as a team, they've really improved that mark since the first month and a half. They were way under 100. Now they're hitting 304. He's been picking up a few hits with them loaded. Now Paulo, he'll go to shorten up that swing a little bit, just trying to place it out there somewhere. Infield in. Gives him a good opportunity to find a hole.
Three pitches, down he goes. That fastball was at 98. Paulo's 14-game hitting streak is the second longest active hitting streak behind Xander Bogaerts, who extended his tonight to 25. And now the base is loaded with 1 out to Omar Infante.
Paulo looked like he had a little extra juice on his swing. Didn't really
notice that last night, a couple of at-bats.
You don't really need that here. This kid that throws this hard, Enny Romero, let him supply the power. Just put the bat on it.
Kind of like Drew Butera against Tommy Kahnle in that big comeback on Saturday.
Very much so. Just short little swing.
'97. And it's 0-2 on Infante. He is 1 for 3. He is also lined out to short. The Royals on this homestand in the 7th inning or later have outscored their opponents 19-3. Good sound, but foul.
Talked earlier in the game about Infante's ability to hit that fastball. I knew he would get on one of them. Now he pulled it foul. I'd like to go the other direction, but I like him. Watch his hands. Watch his hands. You see how he loosens his hands. He keeps his fingers moving. It's a nice loose grip on there, so he can react quicker.
That'll get the job done. So the Rays, that little bobble in center field, cost them a run. Kane scores on the sacrifice fly, and the Royals are back out to a 3-run lead.
Can't sneak a piece of cheese by a hungry rat, that's for sure. Infante, he knew it was coming. Yeah.
Second straight inning, the Royals have gotten the leadoff man on and gotten him home with a sacrifice fly.
He took just a little bit off of that, and it might have been a little slider, a little cutter or something, but didn't get the job done. He's telling himself, I should have stayed with the fastball.
Dyson takes a slider inside. It was Dyson last inning who was the leadoff man on. And now he bats with Hosmer at third, Morales at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dyson has a hitting streak on the line here. His is 9, which ties his career high going back to 2012. Two and 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Most of the time when a pitcher has the bases loaded and nobody out and he gives up just 1 run, that's a victory. But we're in the bottom of the 7th here, and the Rays are down by 3 now, deeply entrenched into the back end of the Royals bullpen. Kane gets on with his 3rd hit. Omar Infante drives him home. 6-3 KC to the 8th inning. Royals are 6 outs away on defense from sweeping the series and the homestand. And now the Royals have scored 5 or more runs in 9 consecutive games. And it's been a little bit of everything offensively in this homestand, Hud. We had the late inning heroics in the White Sox series. Last night we had the big 5-run inning, and tonight just some good situational baseball.
And it's just great to see the Royals at full strength when they're hot. You know, they all seem to get hot at the same time, and when they're not, you know, they kind of all cool off, but hopefully one of them or 2 of them will carry them, especially heading into Cleveland.
Kelvin Herrera throws a strike to Steven Souza Jr. Herrera is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Kelvin pitched the 8th inning on Monday and allowed a run off the end of the bat, and Dyson is there. 1 down. Our Sprint trivia question for tonight. The Royals have dominated the Rays since 2012. Who are the 5 Royals pitchers with 2 or more wins?
How about James Shields?
Well, along those lines, how about Wade Davis?
Okay. How about this guy right here? Kelvin Herrera. El Toro.
Logan Morrison is 1 for 3 with a double.
How about Jeremy Guthrie?
How about him?
Got to see if something sticks here.
Two balls and 1 strike on Morrison.
Okay, Uncle. Crow.
Oh, man. How did we not get Aaron Crow?
How about Bruce? Appreciate that question, too, because...
Do you really?
That's in my time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of all these questions are way before I got here.
That's a good point. And you do keep track of wins against each team.
I don't have the book you have.
Right, you don't keep track of a lot, but that is one category that you keep track of. So, and there you go. You're right. You're all over it. How did we not get Aaron Crow? He was a Rays killer, wasn't he?
He was.
2-2 on Logan Morrison. The Rays go to Minnesota after the game tonight. The Royals go to Cleveland. The Royals have a long road trip. They'll be gone 11 days and play 10 games. 4 at Cleveland beginning tomorrow night, 3 at Baltimore, and then 3 more at Chicago. Morrison golfs it out to center field. 2 down.
Attention Royals fans. It's time to vote for your All-Stars. You can vote up to 35 times for your Royals online, including a maximum of 5 ballots cast in any 24-hour period. Vote at Royals.com on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Be a part of the Major League Baseball history and help select the starting lineups for the 2016 All-Star rosters. Vote at Royals.com/vote. Be held in San Diego this year.
Here's a trivia question for you. When was the last time an All-Star game was played in the same league host city in back-to-back years? Usually they alternate American League, National League, American League, National League. But last year it was in Cincinnati. This year in San Diego. Dave Holtzman is doing exhaustive research.
Well, that's no fair. He's got the computer over there.
Kane again in center field. In case you're wondering, it was 06 and 07 at Pittsburgh and at San Francisco. Holtzy, you're amazing. That makes up for that trivia question. Well, the Royals are 3 outs away on defense from granting that birthday wish. It would be the Royals' 6th consecutive win and would complete a perfect homestand. Panera takes us around the league. Matt Albers, that's right, doubled and scored the go-ahead run in the 13th inning. So the White Sox win it 2-1. Oakland beats Minnesota. Sean Manaea, the former Royals prospect, whom they used to get Ben Zobrist, gave up 1 run in 6 innings. Cleveland beats Texas 5-4. So the Royals, with a win tonight, would maintain a 2-game lead over the White Sox and a 2.5-game lead over the Indians. Those are the standings at the moment. Tyler Sturdivant pitches for the 2nd time in the series.
Sturdivant, 88-92 with a cut fastball, slider change.
Butera is 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Butera, Escobar, and Merrifield. I don't think Alcides Escobar is going to go hitless for the entire road trip. Do you?
No.
So it would sure be nice for him to get base hit number 1,000 right here in the bottom of the 8th. Otherwise, he's going to get it on the trip. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And he, for that feat, he needs a nice hometown applause. Looks like Sturdivant throwing a lot of sliders.
Strike 3. 1 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. All right, grab your running shoes and join Fox Sports Kansas City and the Royals at the Royals Charities 5K on August 27th. Each participant will receive a World Series Champs t-shirt and a Royals ticket voucher and have the chance to make a lap around Kauffman Stadium. Sign up now at royals.com/run. Alcides Escobar, 1 hit away from 1,000 for his career. Swinging from his heels, no balls and 1 strike.
Looked like he wanted to hit one over the fence. Good swing.
Over the outside, and it's 0-2. I would imagine most fans here tonight are not aware that Eske is on the edge of that milestone, but it'll be up on Crown Vision. And with a crowd of over 30,000 tonight, they would love to show their appreciation. And unfortunately, it will not happen tonight. But they also love him in Cleveland.
Yeah. Especially after that catch he made a couple years ago, right?
Good night for Eske. Drove in a run, had a double, but he'll go on the road with 999 career hits. That's a good one.
I like it. Thank you, ma'am. We might use that.
Strike 2, Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield is making his 11th start since being called up, and he has a multi-hit game in 7 of those 11 games. He has at least 1 hit in those 11 games. He has scored a run in 9 straight games. And that's drilled to left field. Backing up is Matuk. It wasn't pretty, but he makes the play, and the Royals are down in order in the bottom of the 8th. There's time. Better start voting. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 KC Metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Royals by 3 to the top of the 9th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefebvre, Rex Hudler with Joel Goldberg. And that is Wade Davis. 9th inning, 3-run lead. Taylor Motter has had better swings tonight. Ned Yost didn't want to last night, but was forced to go to Wade Davis in the 9th, an inning in which the Royals had a 10-4 lead at one point. The good news is Wade only had to throw 5 pitches. He'll get the lower third of the order. That cutter is high and the count is 1-1.
4-seam fastball, go 95, maybe 96. Cutter, overhand curve. Pinpoint control.
Up the left field line. Dyson is there, and there's one down. The last time the Royals went perfect on a homestand of 6 or more games was 1988. I was still in high school. They went 7-0 on that homestand. And then the year the Royals won the World Series in '85, they had 2 perfect homestands. One 6-0, one 8-0. No balls and 1 strike on Mikey Matuk. He is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Whoa, what was that? Breaking ball for a strike. That was interesting. It looked like he was going to stop in the middle of his stretch position. His feet just barely dragged along the dirt, but he continued and threw a breaking ball for a strike.
It's perfect curve.
Cutter away. Two up and 2 down. 30,554 in attendance tonight. The Cubs won, and the reason I bring that up is when the Royals get the final out here, the Cubs and the Royals will be tied for the best home records in the major leagues. Cubs are 19-7 right now. The Royals are 18-7. Kurt Casale's had a good game. He is 2 out of 3. He homered in the 5th inning and then doubled in the 7th. Whoa, 2-1 or 3-0. Should be 2-1.
Sure did. Look like that's a perfect spot.
Oh, maybe he was low. Right down the middle at 95. Danny Duffy went 6. He allowed 3 runs. He is the pitcher of record. Joaquim Soria pitched the scoreless 7th. Kelvin Herrera pitched the scoreless 8th. And Casale is on with a walk.
Pitches he missed on didn't miss by much.
And now Brandon Guyer, who is hitless in this series. Tonight, Guyer is fouled to third, flied to center. He's been hit by a pitch for the 15th time this year. That leads all major league hitters, and he is walked. There's his first hit of the series. And suddenly the Rays will be bringing the tying run to the plate. So that's Guyer's first hit, making him 1 out of 13 in this series. He was hitting just under 300 when the series began. And now it's Davis and Miller. Miller drove in a run in the third inning with a single. He struck out in his other 3 at-bats, and he's 0 for 3 against Wade Davis. And that gets away from Butera. So a 2-out walk, followed by a single, followed by a wild pitch. And what that does is just take away the force at any base. On the ground to Infante. It's a 6-0 homestand. The Royals sweep the Rays after sweeping the White Sox. Final score 6-3.
Waiter, check please.
Lorenzo Cain drove in the first run. The Royals never relinquished the lead, so that's another game-winning RBI for him, his 9th of the year. And the Royals, with that KCW, are a season high 8 games above 500. Ned Yost is now 2 wins away from 500 for his Royals career. And there it is. Twice in 1985, once in 1988, and now here in 2016. A perfect homestand with at least 6 games.
Fantastic. To watch this team all hot at the same time has been a huge boost to not only the players, but also fun to watch for the fans. Fans had a big part of it. Slugger taking care of the umpires with the broom.
And we should also point out, as far as offensive highlights, Whit Merrifield has a base hit in each of his 11 major league starts. He has scored a run in 9 straight games, and he's down on the field with Joel.
All right, thank you very much. What a homestand for all of the Royals, scoring 7 runs per game, and Whit Merrifield has been very much a part of all of that. We'll let the crowd enjoy that. And before I ask you how much fun you're having, Salvador Perez has 4 cups. Still cold, easier than the Gatorade bucket, and a little bit cleaner. All right, Whit, you've had a little bit of time now to settle in the big leagues. How much fun are you having?
It's been a blast. I mean, I can't have imagined anything better. I mean, these fans have been unbelievable. You know, we've done a great job, and we've been winning a lot. So when we win, it's fun.
What's been the biggest key to this offense? I know you look very comfortable batting second, but the old saying here of keep the line moving, it feels like everyone is hitting right now. So what's gone into that?
Yeah, well, we get a lot of momentum going. One guy gets a hit, the next guy gets a hit, and then we're rolling. So we've done a good job putting together some streaks of clutch hitting, and you know, hopefully we can keep it up.
How much does that momentum help too? You guys on the trip end up hitting 354 with runners in scoring position. Just that mentality of doing the little things to keep things moving.
Yeah, no question. It's been clutch hitting, and that's kind of what we pride ourselves on. You know, we may not get a hit the first couple of bats, but when the game's on the line and we got guys in scoring position, we got a lot of confidence in 1 through 9 in this lineup to get the job done.
Other than the obvious, being 7-0 on the homestand, winning every single game, or pardon me, 6-0 on the homestand, what's the best part of being up here in the big leagues?
Man, playing in front of all these people.
There you go. A little different than the minor leagues. Whit, great job again tonight with 2 more hits.
All right, thank you.
Whit Merrifield has endeared himself to the fans. And hey, Ryan, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the guy that set up that interview, Mike Swanson, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Swanee. There he is, following Whit into the dugout. Royals Vice President of Communications. Happy birthday, Swanee. And it's been a happy homestand, 6-0. Final score 6-3. We'll be right back.